Today it's early January and we are out here running the 2200 burying some corn stalks. This is my farm here where we have the field days, and I'm gonna go corn back to corn on this area. So I wanted to take a little chapter out of Jason Enderle's book and run the 2200 with Shanks to get these corn stalks buried. We had a little bit of snow and it's a little bit frozen on top, and those Shanks are doing an awesome job. Now, the topic of this video is to show you guys and bring to real life the different looks that are available from this 2200. We talk about it all the time, how versatile this tool is, but today we're going to show you passes with the Shanks-down to show you how well and aggressive it can bury those stalks. And then we're going to do some passes with the Shanks-up to show you a mimicking of a pre-planter pass or just a true standard vertical tillage pass, and bring to life the different faces that this 2200 can give you to show you how versatile it can be. Let's jump in the tractor, make some passes, and see what we find. All right guys, so we've made our passes and now we're going to show you the digging side of it and the in-field differences that we're seeing. Obviously there's horsepower differences with the Shanks-down versus up. You saw that in the video, but we're going to get out and dig and show you how well this tool can look really in either scenario. So where I'm standing is with the Shanks-up, and we did just a true vertical tillage pass. We had it set to about 5 inches of depth. And as you can see, it did an awesome job knocking down those stalks. It did an awesome job chopping and sizing. You can see exactly right where these blades came through and cut all of these stalks. I mean, look at the size and the destruction of these stalks, and that's what we want. We talk about it when we talk about the Yetter Devastator too. We need all this stuff to be as small as possible so we can get all that surface area encompassed with dirt. Now, that's on the surface level. From there, when we dig, there is a surprising amount of dirt here on the surface that we were able to turn. For it to be kind of frozen like this, just coming out of a thaw, it's about 31 degrees right now with the sun shining down. I was very, very happy with the amount of dirt that we were able to fracture and turn. Now, when I'm digging right here, I found kind of a fracture destruction area just right here. If you look, you can see there's that explosion of the soil that we're talking about. I was driving about 8 to 9 miles an hour, and that's what you get, is that explosion from the blade, is that movement and that push side to side. And I mean, again, you're talking a field that was just harvested 30 days ago, had a little bit of snow on it, and now we're coming through and this stuff is just completely blown apart, and that is with the Shanks-up, mind you. So right there in that depth, I got that blade going probably about 4 inches, and again, if I go through there horizontally, you can see that it is all just completely blown apart. We've got air in there, we've got soil mixed with residue in that layer of different extractions and extrusions of soil and residue. So that's with the Shanks-up. It's finished beautiful, it's laid flat, and those 8-wave blades were able to explode and fracture the soil while also being able to mix, chop, and size that residue. We've got a good 15-mile-an-hour wind blowing today. There's none of that residue moving. A lot of it's pinned down and tied to the soil. Now we're going to move over to where we had the Shanks-down and show you the difference. All right, so here we are over in the hydraulic Shank side. And again, being corn after corn, I wanted to get some stuff buried get that corn residue pinned down and covered in dirt. And so we were able to do that. Now, I went ahead and found a zone here where this shank did run. It's going about 7 inches of depth. And that shank does a few things for us. It's gonna come through here and explode the areas around it. We're gonna take care of some of that mid-level compaction, but it also does an awesome job keeping that tool sucked in the ground. When you have those shanks down, that tool is always gonna go in the ground, no matter how hard, dry, whatever it is, that tool will go in the ground, and it makes it work so much better. It pulls those blades down in the ground and makes everything work. Again, we've got residue that's cut, chopped, and sized from the blades, but now, being that we have a tool with blades that can vertical till and shanks that can also rip, we've got a combination tool that can do a little bit of everything. So let's dig in here at this shank. We've got one of these every 30 inches. So there's one over here, there's one over here, and again, standard, typical shank. But where the magic comes in and what it really separates it apart from other tools, and that is what I dug over there. We saw that explosion. And as I dig into this horizontally, that's where you will see the fracture of not only the shank, but the blades, and then working in tandem. If I just take this knife, I'm about 4 inches down right now, and you can see, look at how weak that sidewall is. Everything is just going to crumble. And again, I'm 4 inches deep, and everything will just crumble down into that sidewall. Down here about 4 inches deep, I've got residue buried down in there. I've got it incorporated. I've got it mixed, and we've got an awesome blend of residue and broken up weak soil. And as I dig horizontally into this, you can just watch all of that fracture and crumble down into that. So you have a couple different layers of tillage. We're doing tillage with the blades on that top zone. It's what's gonna really cut, chop, and size the stalks. But then as the blades are turning and we're bringing up this loose dirt, we're also going to bury that stuff. So that top 4-inch zone is where those 8-wave blades will bury the residue. And then we've got the shanks coming in there at 7 inches to do that mid-range soil compaction relieving effect that we see from the switchblade shank. So you've got a lot of different zones of tillage going on with the 2200 when you run the shanks down. So these are the different faces of the 2200. You can run it ahead of the planter to do that nice level finish, explosion area, something to give those early roots, that early development, an easy way to go down. The water will infiltrate down through there really well. And then you have a tool that you put the shanks down, and we're gonna bury, we're gonna dig, and we're gonna turn it black. Something for the fall, something for the spring, and something for every place in between. So we always focus on the blades and the shanks on these 2200s and the other Salford tools. We often overlook the finishing system, and it's actually one of the more important sides of it when you look back at the tool and see how level, smooth, and flat it's doing it. And so I want to run through these harrow systems and the basket system. It's really a very simple system. We've got these coil tine harrows that are about 22 inches in length, and they're staggered across there. There's 3 rows of them. We have 3 rows for a couple different reasons. We have them for good trash flow, but then also we get that really good finish, that really solid and consistent finish. With just 1 or 2 rows, it wouldn't be nearly as consistent. Now, what I always like to do is adjust these harrows as tight as I possibly can without creating a beaver hut or a pile of residue. And so that is really going to depend on what type of residue you're working in, what type of soil you're running in. For example, when I'm doing my true vertical tillage pass in these corn stalks, we're gonna loosen them up a bit because there will be less residue incorporation. When we put the shanks down, we're going to tighten those up because we want the harrows to fill in between the shanks. and there's also less residue on top to drag. Now, if I'm running ahead of the planter, I want them pretty tight because it has to be level and it has to be smooth and finished. So I'm gonna tighten them up a bit. Now back here on this 14-inch shaftless rolling basket, there's a lot to talk about here. Our adjustment and tension is up here, which I almost always maximize that tension. We want that tight so that we're getting that firm top, we're pushing out air pockets, and we're breaking clods. When this basket is spinning as you're driving 9 miles an hour, it's heavy. It's gonna punch and crush clods and take them from baseball size to a quarter of that size. That is the job of this basket. Now, it's shaftless, so we do not have problems with it plugging up, even in conditions like what we're in today. Very seldom will you find a rock in this Salford basket as well. So that is the finishing harrow and basket system. It often gets overlooked. We always want to look at the nice, bright, shiny things up front, but this back here has got a lot to do with the success of the Salford.